Policy, Planning, and Development Commencement. I am Carol Rush, Associate Dean for Student Affairs. Please rise and welcome the class of 2009. The procession is now entering our venue. It is led by flag bearers Timothy Tway, our valedictorian, and Brian Waggy. Following the flag bearers are the faculty, led by Dean Jack Knott, the faculty leadership, and our commencement speakers. Senior Associate Dean Elizabeth Grady, Senior Associate Dean Genevieve Giuliano, Director of the Undergraduate Program, Professor Richard Sundin, Faculty Council Chair Juliet Musso, Commencement Speaker Steve Soboroff, and Alumni Association Immediate Past President Lupe Valdez. Now entering the venue are the graduates. This morning we celebrate the accomplishments of approximately 100 students who've completed the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Management, and Planning.
Be seated. On behalf of the USC School of Policy, Planning, and Development, I welcome each one of you to our graduation ceremony for the class of 2009. My name is Jack Knott. I'm the Erwin and Ione L. Piper, Dean and Professor of the USC School of Policy, Planning, and Development. So first, I'd like to offer my hearty congratulations to the graduating class of 2009. Congratulations. It is my great pleasure to be with you here today on this momentous occasion to celebrate your tremendous achievement. And I would like to first thank all of you, parents, grandparents, friends, relatives, and students for joining us here today, but especially those of you who have traveled a long way. And I particularly want to thank the families who have provided financial and other support for our students. Your support is deeply, deeply appreciated. Let's give a round of applause to our students' families. I would also like to thank the faculty and staff who have worked hard and dedicated themselves to providing you with the best education. Please join me in thanking the faculty and the staff. I suspect some of you came to USC to study because of the beautiful beaches and mountains and fabulous sunny California weather, LA entertainment, Trojan football, and all that. Now admit it, those are pretty nice benefits of being at USC. But they are certainly not the only things and not the main thing that makes USC and the School of Policy and Planning and Development great. Our school's multidisciplinary curriculum is distinctive and innovative. It emphasizes strength of character, entrepreneurship, and engagement with the community. Our students learn how to plan for and analyze long-term future issues facing society and our urban communities, such as healthcare, urban and real estate development, transportation, infrastructure and sustainability, and more effective ways to govern that allows our society to better address these kinds of long-term significant issues. Indeed, your personal academic milestone today comes at a very significant juncture in our history. Over this past year, the world has changed significantly. Social and economic changes have become increasingly complex and pervasive. The effects of the unprecedented financial meltdown and economic recession will impact generations to come. Yet, these daunting challenges have also fueled a growing interest in public service, community values, and international affairs. And they offer tremendous new opportunities for all of us and each of you. Now, more than ever, new visionary leaders are required. Successfully tackling our multifaceted and enduring problems will require exceptional levels of leadership and collaboration, whether you enter into government, private business, or the nonprofit sector. Given our country's enormous challenges and critical leadership needs, I believe strongly that SPPD students are in the right place at the right time. And this is true for a number of reasons. Let's start with the context. Los Angeles is the capital of the Pacific Rim, a city with a diverse culture and worldwide immigration, a center for real estate and healthcare, and a city confronting many of the issues of megacities. In short, it is a perfect context for studying policy planning and development. Second, USC is really an amazing place. I think you've all discovered this. It has great music, wonderful theater, but most important, the quality of the students here is found only at the best institutions around the world. The opportunity here to share from each other and learn from each other is a unique education in itself. But I would like to take a few moments to focus on the 4 features of the education that you have received at SPPD that make it so special. As graduates, these features set you apart from the competition. First, I've always felt that the strength of our school lies in its ability to make a difference in the world. Our school is dedicated to being relevant, to having a positive impact on the communities and groups that need it most. And our students know, as evidenced through their work, that while change requires knowledge and analysis, it cannot be enacted from afar. Instead, it must be galvanized on the ground in communities. SPPD students interact and engage with policymakers, nonprofit managers, real estate developers, urban planners, healthcare leaders, and members of the community. And many of you have already begun to analyze significant issues. Some of our students this year have conducted research projects that have looked at how social networks impact social change, the political impact of urban demographics, public space and social capital, and how governance is related to the solutions to autism. Many of you have participated in internships, community projects, externships, and networking events. You have actively engaged the community, not just remained in the classroom. You've also studied under faculty who make vital contributions to important issues facing the country, as evidenced by our strong presence in the national media. Just since this past January, only 4 months ago, 21 SPPD faculty have been featured in both print and broadcast media, reaching nearly 80 million people through the New York Times, Washington Post, National Public Radio, NBC Nightly News, to name a few. The impact of SPPD alumni and faculty also reaches some of the highest posts in the federal government, such as Hilda Solis, alum, who is Secretary of the U.S. Department of Labor; Alan Hoffman, alum, who is Deputy Chief of Staff for Vice President Joe Biden; and SPPD professor, our own Professor Raphael Bostic, who has been nominated to serve as Assistant Secretary for Policy at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, who has just stepped down as the Director of our Master of Real Estate and Development program. I have every confidence that you too will be able to advance our school's mission and carry on its distinguished legacy of relevance and impact. Your work also exemplifies one of the most distinctive characteristics of our school, our commitment to excellence. Our school has established an esteemed reputation, being a leader in scholarship and research. We are consistently ranked among the very best schools of its kind in the nation. This year, again, we were ranked number 7 out of 270 schools nationwide, and our reputation is long-lived. This is the 80th anniversary of our school. We were founded back in 1929 as the USC School of Citizenship and Public Administration, when we were only one of 2 schools of its kind in the country. And those of you who attended SPPD's award ceremony yesterday, there can be no doubt about the excellence of the work produced by our graduates. The third characteristic is innovation for the future. Our school has truly emerged as a school for the 21st century. Our school distinguishes itself from its academic peers by embracing a special approach that builds bridges across boundaries to provide innovative solutions to societal issues. As graduates, you've learned to build bridges across disciplines by approaching problem solving in an interdisciplinary way. You've learned to build bridges across the sectors by finding solutions in collaborations across the public, business, and nonprofit sectors. And you've learned to connect theory and academic quality to the community of practice. You have become innovators, the leaders of tomorrow. And finally, our school is global. We live in an interconnected world where the professions are becoming global, and whether it is real estate, urban planning, healthcare, public policy, or public management. As SPPD graduates, you understand the impact of the world on our local communities. You have learned to think more broadly, to find and enact solutions that begin here locally and resonate globally. And each and every one of you has distinguished yourself as an SPPD graduate. Now your moment has arrived. It is your turn. Now it is your turn to make an impact on the world, to galvanize your vision of a better future. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." And I know that the future belongs to you because I know that you believe in the beauty of your dreams. Graduates, you have benefited in myriad ways from the wisdom and generosity of SPPD faculty members and from a worldwide network of supporters, including our alumni who impact the community they live in every day as mayors and city council members, city managers, leaders in nonprofit organizations, industrial and commercial real estate developers, policy analysts, healthcare managers who run some of the state's most important healthcare organizations, and faculty members at prominent schools. We hope that you will maintain strong ties to USC and to SPPD as you move forward in life as an alumni and member of the Trojan family. There may be occasions for you to give back to the school through time spent as volunteers or as mentors, even maybe hiring some of the future students, through joining our new SPPD Athenian Society, which financially supports the school's annual fund, or attending our annual Guardian Awards dinner. So we look forward to continuing this relationship. As new students join our programs, they will all look to you, for our recent alumni, for inspiration and support. The Trojan family is formed through a common background. It grows through the commitment of its members to one another. Today you achieve a very special status within the Trojan family. You become USC alumni. Congratulations once again, and I wish you the very best in all your future endeavors. It is now my great privilege at this time to introduce today's keynote speaker, Steve Soboroff. Through his ongoing commitment to sustainability and the environment, and as a leader working with both the public and private sectors, Mr. Soboroff has blazed a trail to a greener future. He embodies the innovative stewardship that SPPD teaches. As chairman and CEO of Playa Vista, Mr. Soboroff and his team oversees all aspects of one of the nation's most significant multi-use real estate projects. Described by the Los Angeles Times as LA's urban model, the sustainable development provides housing, office space, shopping, in addition to parks and hundreds of areas of restored wetlands. In 1995 to the year 2001, Mr. Soboroff was president of the LA Recreation and Parks Commission, invigorating the city's green spaces. In addition, he was a driving force behind the Staples Centers, helped spearhead the Alameda Corridor project, and served as a member of the city's Harbor Commission. His company received the Los Angeles Beautiful Award for restoring retail buildings on Montana Avenue and in Malibu. Harvard Business School honored Mr. Soboroff as the Business Statesman of the Year, and the Los Angeles Chamber of Commerce chose him for their Lifetime Achievement Award. In addition, Mr. Soboroff is a strong advocate of education, which is key to shaping the next generation of leaders. He serves as chairman of the board of directors of the Weingart Foundation, which offers grants to assist organizations in program areas of health, human services, and education, and is a member of the board of directors of the First Federal Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming SPPD board member Steve Soboroff.
So be honest, how many of you were expecting Admiral Mike Mullen, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, to be here? Because he was the one that was supposed to be doing this speech. I got a call from Dean Knott saying that he couldn't do it, asking me to do it, which makes my job a tough job. Also, I listened to the governor's speech today, and I don't know how many of you heard it or saw it, but it was terrific. And it was memorable. I didn't write it for him, but I did talk to him about it, because I didn't want to say the same thing that he did, because I'd look stupid. He did make one mistake, though, but I've made mistakes in my life, too. You know that joke he told about, what was it, Sherry, about USC, or we're the only football team, or about, okay, but remember, I mean, he's got to drive through UCLA on the way home. He's ahead of the state system. Okay, but listen, I ran for mayor of Los Angeles, okay? I was endorsed by the mayor. I almost won. I lost by 2 percentage points to our current mayor, Antonio Villaraigosa, and to Jim Hahn, both subsequently who were mayor. And I made a few mistakes too, and probably when you are done listening to my speech, you'll say, no wonder this guy came in third, but that's up to you. But one of mine, I'll stand by today, and that was something that I believe would have kept Los Angeles out of economic recession categorically. And it wasn't followed by either mayor, and it wasn't appreciated enough by the voters of Los Angeles, or I would have been mayor. I wanted to take the Diamond Lane and change it for USC grads and alum only. Now think about it. Who's moving the economy? Who's driving this? The other people aren't doing it. Let them sit in the other 3 lanes. They're not doing anything anyway, right? So I lost. There is no USC Diamond Lane. You know, people have bumper stickers saying, don't blame me, I voted for Soboroff, but that's life. You're going to hear a little bit from me about ups and downs. Being mistaken for the Joint Chiefs of Staff was one interesting one. But that's not the first time I've had high-level government action. Got to play golf with the President of the United States, Bill Clinton, one time, which was really incredible because he's the greatest communicator and makes you feel important. I'll tell you about that in a second. But when I was running for mayor, I started with zero name ID, name recognition. I was endorsed by the current mayor, Reardon, and I started building up some momentum and steam with some of these incredible ideas, like my Diamond Lane idea and some other things. But I was moving, Sherry, stop me if I'm lying, but I was moving in the polls. I was making progress. Okay, so I was making progress. And so we're at a restaurant. We have five children, my wife and I, and our oldest son, who's here today, who was the advance man for the mayor of New York when he was going to college, and now is a newscaster nationwide. But he said that we were sitting at a restaurant, and the hostess looked over at us and said, "Dad, they're looking at you. They recognize you." And I said, "Well, I think we're spending this money in advertising, and we're making some great strides, and even Sherry's acknowledging I'm making some progress, which is really something. Possible, it's great." He says, "No, Dad, you're really blowing up, and things are moving here." So like 3 people come over to the table to us. We were at a Denny's. 3 people come over. I know that Arnold would probably be at like Spago or something, but we were at Denny's, okay? And so they come up to me, and Jacob's right. They're coming right up to our table. And one lady pulls out a camera, and the other person pulls out a camera, and they say, "Mr. Cheney, welcome to Los Angeles." So here's my job. I got to talk to people who want to party that don't want to listen to me, number one. Number two, I got to talk to parents who, other than Arnold's speech, probably don't remember one thing their commencement speaker ever said when they were in college 20, 30, 40 years ago. Number three, I got to talk to a group of students at one of, there goes the governor. But I drive a Tesla. I drive one of those all-electric cars, so, which he loaned me the money to buy. But anyway, I've got to speak from a great university with great teachers, professors, to a diverse group with majors and minors that are, look at them all. It's not just one group. So I've got to say something. My goal is to say one thing that all of you guys are going to remember. Because how many people, be honest, in the back, other than Arnold, how many remember who the commencement speaker was at their college? Okay, 1.2%, okay? So there it goes. So I got a big job. So I got to say one thing. I'm going to say I hope, one thing that you'll remember and carry on with. So I graduated 39 years ago. From college. Surprise, most of you thought I probably didn't go to college based on my speech, but I want to say something that hopefully you'll remember. So Arnold talked about success, but he talked about how he's successful. 39 years ago when I graduated from college, I started meeting people and working different jobs and stuff who I thought were successful, not me. And I wrote down the common characteristics and mannerisms that those people have. So I'm not going to tell you what a cool guy I am and all this kind of razzmatazz, although Playa Vista is the greatest place on earth to live. Although if you're a cop, fireman, teacher, or nurse, you get your unit half price. Although 10% of the units are set behind. Although 10% of the workers at Playa Vista come through a prison retraining program. In other words, we are in a public policy business, so that stuff's cool, but I'm not going to talk about me. I'm going to talk about the other people. So I'm going to give you my list. Arnold's was 6, and it took long, Mine is 26. How many letters in the alphabet? 26, yeah. It's going to be 26, A to Z, but it's fast. A, successful people. Common characteristics and mannerisms of successful people. A, they ask questions. People don't sit there when somebody says, well, everybody knows what an IRR is, right? Well, excuse me, can you explain it? Successful people have the peace inside to ask questions. B, they have balanced lives, the most important one. Now, we got to do a little visual imaging here. You guys are thinking about drinking. I'm thinking about a speech, so we'll do it together. Think of shot glasses, okay? Visual, okay? Think of 6 of them, okay? One of them is your business life. One of them is your physical life. One of them is your community life. One of them, pick them out. Maybe your religious life. Maybe your life with your children, etc., okay? Then you got this one big, these are shot glasses, okay? Then you've got this one big container of whatever it is. I don't drink, so I'll call it water, okay? But water is everything. It's time, it's everything. If you start pouring that water into any one of those shot glasses and overdo it over a long period of time, you know what you got? A mess. All over the floor, all over the table, all over everything. Successful people are not balanced all the time in everything, but they have a tendency to balance over their lifetimes at different points. So it's not all about business. I'm not saying there aren't a lot of rich people who put it all in one basket, but I'm talking about people who I feel are overall successful. So they balance their lives. Number C, Arnold talked about this. Successful people control things. They aren't worried about what everybody else is doing. They want to get into things where they can't blame other people for their issues. If you guys want to fail, you got more reasons than anybody on this stage, anybody, to fail. You got 100 reasons. Nobody's hiring. The economy's in chaos. People don't even understand. I mean, things are going crazy with credit. You can't borrow money, which I think is good, because what are credit cards for anyway, right? Buy stuff you don't need with money you don't have to impress people you don't like, okay? So who needs them, right? Successful people control. D, successful people, I just say don't be intimidated. Don't be worried about everything else that's going on around you. You know why racehorses wear blinders? So they don't worry about what's going on all around them. If you're so concerned about everything else that's going around you and that's intimidating to you, it's hard to make your strides. I was in working on a transaction, a real estate deal, and I was really burnt out. This was about, I don't know, it's 20 years ago, 25 years ago. I'm coming down an elevator, and this guy's going in the elevator, and he's got a set of plans. And so I said something that I'm ashamed to have said to him. I like a jerk, I shouldn't have said. But I said, so what are those, plans to save the whole world? I mean, this is taped, so I can't use my normal language. But I mean, what kind of guy would say? And the guy looks at me straight up and says, they're plans to change my world. There you go. Think about, put those blinders on, worry about where you want to go. Don't worry about where everybody else wants to go. E, obviously, successful people are enthusiastic. They encourage others with their attitude, with their optimism, with their positive reinforcement. F, successful people are flexible. Flexible. I, for 25 years, taught a class in shopping centers and real estate at UCLA and Berkeley and Stanford. But one time there were about 2,000 people in the class. It was a one-day seminar, 2,000 people in the class. And I was talking about what I was doing, and this gentleman comes up to me afterwards, and I'm standing up here, and he's down there, and it's really, it's not nice. But he says, I need you to be a consultant for me. I have a piece of property, and I'm running into financial difficulty. And I said, well, I'm sorry, sir, but I don't do consultation work. I'm a broker, I'm a developer, I'm a creative guy, and I don't do things by the hour. Sorry. I mean, some people do, some people don't. So the next day, he calls me up, and on the phone at my office, and he says, look, I need you to be a consultant. Name your price and double it. I need you to be a consultant. And I said, I'm just sorry, I don't do that. 2 days later, he comes into my office with a title report showing he owned this piece of property. It's an office building with retail, free and clear, and with a deed made out to me for 15% of the property. And he said, look, I need a consultant. I said, sit down, I do consultation work. I'm flexible, you know. Successful people are flexible. G, goals, goals, goals. Successful people have goals, but they have long-term goals, which everybody's dreaming of, okay? I want to win the lottery, I want to be president, I want to be this or that. But you can't reach long-term goals without taking baby steps. So successful people that I've found, their goal is A to B, B to C, C to D, not A to Z. And successful people set goals all the time and goals they can reach. H, they're honest. I, Arnold talked about it, they're intense. J, this is important. Successful people know how to juggle. What do I mean by that? You got to have a lot of balls in the air because things aren't going to go your way all the time, so you put everything in one basket. Hello, people who invested with Bernard Madoff, okay? You need to diversify, you need to juggle. So I'll tell you a story. I'm making $750 a month in 1971, 72, which was people with master's degrees were making $1,100 a month, but I said, you know what, I'm going to work hard, like Arnold said, and make a, and I was working on a transaction where I had a $100,000 commission. Well, I mean, I'm making $750 a month. My car insurance bill was $1,500 a year. That's 2 months of take home. And I've got this deal where I'm going to make $100,000. And the buyer's a New York Stock Exchange company, the seller's Big Five Sporting Goods. I get the check, ready to go down to close the deal. Everything's worked out. I borrow a friend of mine's car. I want to put the top down. I don't smoke, but I would have had a cigar. I mean, this is it. I get down there. I walk in the guy's office in San Diego, and he says, I changed my mind. I'm not going to sell the property. I almost passed out. I got flushed, pale, weak, and I had to sit down. And when I felt better and got back in my car and left, I said, you know what, I am never, for the rest of my life, going to let that happen to me again. I am never going to depend on any one thing so much that it'll do that to me again. I got to have 20 things going all the time. So you think you got one job or two, you got to keep, successful people juggle. They got a lot going on. K, they know their strengths and weaknesses. I got strengths, I got weaknesses. But successful people know their strengths and weaknesses. L, they're lucky, and what's luck? You know, when preparation and opportunity meet, that's an easy way to have luck. Successful people, and this is people behind the fourth row will understand this a little more than in front of the first row, but successful people, when it's time to get done with something, they meet in person. You don't Twitter your deals, you don't complete your deals on Facebook, you don't MySpace your final job things. Successful people communicate and they meet in person. N, really big. Niche, they have a niche. Again, let's picture something. Let's picture the track. There's a track over here, running track. It's got all these lanes in it. Let's look at that big track and say that's real estate, okay? One lane is shopping centers, one lane is raw, unimproved property, one lane is apartments, one lane is residential, one lane, whatever. I knew retail. In my lane, I am a wild man. Wild man. I'd put down $100,000 in 5 minutes. I could read the lease while I'm driving my car. I could sign a deal. I could do things that other people couldn't do because I had so much confidence in myself in not losing money. Take me out of my niche, let me talk to my accountant, let me talk to my advisors, I got analysis paralysis. Successful people pick niches, and then you can expand from those niches, but they work within their comfort level. Oh, successful people orchestrate, they coordinate. At least it wasn't the American flag. They see through the fog. They figure how to get there. P, this is important. If I were to tell any of you, if any of you go to graduate school, give up one real estate class, give up one finance class, give up one law class and take psychology. Take psychology of business. Understand why people do things what they do, because there will always be a lawyer smarter than you. There will always be a finance guy or girl smarter than you. There'll always be somebody better looking, smarter, this or that. But if you understand what motivates people, you're going to have a heads up. They understand psychology, they're perceptive, and they positively reinforce others. Only two kinds of bosses. One, when you do something, says, great job. Here's money, here's a better business card, here's a title, here's this, thank you very much. The other says, oh my God, forget the fact you did 98 things right and 2 things wrong. How could you have done that to me? How could you have done that to this company? You're asking for a bonus when you actually did. If you're working for somebody who motivates through negative fear, in the worst economy in the world, I'll give you this advice, and it's only one word: quit. Speaking of Q, successful people surround themselves with quality people. Quality people. If you've got a project and you need an architect, and your project is to build a Target store, why not go hire an architect that's done Target stores before and have him do your plan versus your cousin that's willing to do it for 1/3 of the price? Why not hire a lawyer if you're doing something in the city of Los Angeles and you want to build a park or a playground? Why not hire a lawyer or a lobbyist to help you who's done it before versus going to someone who will do it cheap? Successful people hang around. They surround themselves with winners. They take risks. Arnold talked about it, within boundaries. S, we win on this. They go to seminars, they go to conventions. Successful people communicate. They don't know it all. The older you get, you realize the less you really do understand. T, this is a different one from when I was going to school, but successful people use tools. In my day, the tools were car phones and the greatest machine. Now, you guys have tools of all kinds, but the greatest thing ever is a conference caller. You can have it all, but where can you, instead of interpreting what somebody's going to say and then getting somebody else to say and calling the other, you can put them all on the phone together. Successful people have a reading list, a good reading list. Now, maybe you guys do it on the internet. Some people read newspapers. I read the LA Times, I read the New York Times, read Time Magazine, Newsweek, things like that, Washington Post. But you have your own list. Successful people, use professionals. I said this before. Use co-brokers. I had a project in Malibu, and the tenant was this very famous French restaurant, and the guy was very refined, elegant, beautiful command of language. I didn't know how to talk to the guy. So I hired a broker that did, and we made our deal, even though I had to pay a commission. Use professionals that know. Use people that know. V, number 1. Successful people that I've met, vacation. Now, do I mean Hawaii, okay, or Cabo? I'm talking a daily vacation. I'm talking about taking 2 minutes or 20 minutes to meditate, to go for a walk, to be with yourself, just to listen, to see what kind of ideas come up. Take a nap. Successful people balance themselves by taking a little bit of time off. Otherwise, you can't process everything that happens to you during the day. So when you process it? When you're trying to go to sleep. That doesn't work. W, successful people like to win. Arnold talked all about that. I ran track in high school. I ran the 100-yard dash, and my high school track teacher said, this race is 103 yards. It is not 99 yards. It's not 95 yards. You don't cruise. When you're running in politics, when I was doing Staples Center, that race was straight uphill. If I would have stopped at the 99, I would have fallen back. You have to break through the finish line. Successful people like to win, and they know you got to go through the finish line. X, successful people, I use Xerox. They emulate. They take things from different people and put them together to be themselves. God forbid it's something I said or something that Arnold said, the governor said. But you take the personality traits and the characteristics of things that you like that are comfortable to you, and you put them together as part of your own. WX. Y, successful people know when to say yes. Think about it. Have I gotten enough out of that guy? Is his back against the wall? Is blood pouring out his eyes? Do I need to wait that long before I can say yes? Successful people leave a little something on the table. Z, I'm not going to tell you because I want you to come back for more in graduate school. But what I do need is I need two volunteers. Oh, okay, come on up. But I want somebody that's like, yeah, brimming with self-confidence, okay? And I need you to, we're going to do a little demonstration up here. It only takes a minute. Come on, you. Okay, come on. And a gentleman. Wait a minute. I got to pick a guy wearing shades, okay? Do you mind? Sir? Come on up. Okay, what I'm going to show you guys is something you're never going to forget for the rest of your life, okay? I'm going to show you something that President Clinton showed me. I'm going to show you how to shake hands. And I'm going to show you how to take somebody's business card, okay? Now these guys, you know, I would give you guys both solid Bs, okay? But you're out there trying to find jobs, you got to get an A. You got to make that impression. So, I'm going out, I'm on Rancho Park Golf Course during the Democratic National Convention where the President of the United States was turned down to play golf at Hillcrest because they couldn't shut the golf course. And so we invited him to play Rancho Park, and I got to go. So he said to me, he was the coolest guy. I mean, I didn't vote for him, but he was the coolest guy I ever met. That doesn't matter, but the nicest. And he says, so, you know, what are you doing? I said, well, Mr. President, I'm running for mayor. And he goes, well, do you have any questions? You know, my father was, you know, ran for mayor in Arkansas. And I said, yeah. I said, my arm is killing me from shaking hands 3,000 and 4,000 times a day. And he said, oh, that's no problem. Let me show you. So, President Clinton said, when you shake hands with somebody, hold. Not just release. Don't give them the fish, you know. Look at them right there. But an extra tenth of a second. Extra tenth of a second. And he said, my deal was, it was hurting my arm. He said, take their other hand like this. Now, all these times you thought President Clinton was being so cordial and warm to all these people, for all his career, all he was trying to do is keep them from jerking his arm out of the socket. So when I shake hands with you, now you don't have to do it every time. It can be a little mushy. But you hold on, and you look right at it. Second thing is, give me your card. You tell me your name. Okay, Lacey. Okay, so Lacey gave me her card. Okay. Now, Lacey, what was your grade? I mean, it was good. I mean, you're good. You're doing it. Okay. But Lacey gave me my card upside down. Okay. And also, I mean, and when I took the card, I took it like a fool. I mean, have you ever given your card to somebody and they go, oh, it's really nice to meet you? When you give your card to somebody, face your card towards them, okay? And then when you give me the card, I got over this one. So hand me my card, Now watch what I do. I don't pick my teeth with it. I look at it. Why am I looking at it? Because it's respectful. So if you can accept someone's card, and if you can shake hands, give them a little extra look, okay? You're on your way. Okay, so, here, Mike, wait, let me do it. See? Nice to meet you. My card? Come here, guys. Come here, guys. Thank you. Oh, yeah?
Wow, that was great. Mr. Soboroff, thank you so very much. I thought, wow, A to Z. How was he ever going to get through 26? But he did. It was great. Thank you. So you're never going to forget that, right? No, I won't forget it, that's for sure. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Timothea Tway, SPPD's valedictorian. Today, Timothy is receiving the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy Management and Planning with a concentration in urban planning. Timothea entered USC in the fall of 2005 as a trustee scholar, the highest award bestowed on an entering freshman, and has continued to excel academically throughout her 4 years at USC. She has been on the Dean's List every semester and graduates today with a 3.89 grade point average. As an undergraduate student, she has taken advantage of many opportunities to develop her research, leadership, and organizational skills. She has served as a student GIS research assistant with the USC Department of Geography, a community development intern with Strategic Development Solutions in Los Angeles, a national vacant properties campaign intern with Smart Growth America in Washington, D.C., and an assistant with Douglas Wood and Associates, an environmental consulting firm in San Luis Obispo, which shows you kind of the combination of real out there in the community and academic excellence that represents our school. After graduation, she will enroll in Cal Poly San Luis Obispo's master's program in city and regional planning, where she has received an Eric Fisher Foundation Fellowship to study sustainability and transportation planning. Please welcome Timothea Tway.
Oh, I'm so short. Thank you, everyone. Good morning. I'm truly honored to be here, and I would like to thank all of you for coming to support the SPPD graduating class of 2009. Today, my fellow graduates and I will step off this campus for the last time as undergraduate students, but not for the last time as Trojans. As we have heard time and time again, from the day we came to this university, we were, and will always be, official members of the Trojan family, which now means I guess we're related to Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is pretty cool. As we move on in our lives and leave USC for the real world, it's important for us to understand, though, what it truly means to be a Trojan. I believe we must understand both our privileges and responsibilities as members of this family, and specifically our roles as SPPD graduates. 79 years ago, the statue of Tommy Trojan in front of Bovard was dedicated. Tommy has since become an integral part of campus and perhaps the most recognizable landmark at USC. It's the inscription at the base of the statue, however, that actually defines the campus and its students. The inscription describes the 5 attributes of the ideal Trojan: faithful, scholarly, skillful, ambitious, and courageous. Countless members of the Trojan family who came before us embodied these qualities, used them to make their mark on the world, and can serve as examples for us as we begin our careers in politics, public administration, health administration, urban planning, advocacy, or any other field we may choose. 130 years ago, the founders of this university established USC with 308 lots of donated land, 53 students, just 10 professors, the building behind you, and a lot of ambition. These very first Trojans proved that ambition is a worthy attribute, as USC has since become one of the top universities in the world. 89 years later, in 1969, Neil Armstrong, another Trojan alum, proved that Trojans are courageous by changing history and taking the first step on the moon. And today, fellow members of the Trojan family prove they are faithful to their alma mater through their continued support of the university and its students. Almost every building on campus bears the name of someone who has faith in USC and the education which can be received here. You can look in almost any academic journal for proof that Trojans are scholarly. Our professors at SPPD are incredible examples of this, with publications ranging from Dr. Cooper's article, Citizen-Centered Collaborative Public Management, to Dr. Currid's article, The Economics of a Good Party. And finally, Trojans prove every day that we are skillful. We are skilled in athletics, the arts, humanities, science, politics, the list continues. SPPD's very own alumna, Hilda Solis, the current United States Secretary of Labor, is an inspiring example of what can be achieved when one applies the skills they learn here in their life. While I'm fairly certain that none of us will be walking on the moon anytime soon, I know that we too, as the planners, creators, builders, and administrators of our cities, states, and nation, will have ample opportunities to use the skills and knowledge we have learned at USC and SPPD and exhibit our ideal Trojan qualities. We are entering the political, nonprofit, and private realms at one of the most challenging, but also most rewarding times in recent history, and we will need these qualities to succeed. We can be scholarly by remembering that every experience we have has the potential to teach. Being a scholar doesn't just mean learning at school, it means keeping your mind open and learning whenever possible from whomever possible. We must use our knowledge from both our books and our experiences, along with the skills we have developed from here at PPD, to inform our decisions and actions. We can be faithful by having faith in our families, friends, school, and in ourselves. We are a bright, innovative, and very fortunate group of young people who have some unparalleled opportunities to impact our world. We must have faith that we are capable of rising up to the many challenges that we will face in the future. As this generation, we will struggle with challenges across the spectrum: economic, environmental, and social. We must address decaying cities, transportation problems, energy issues, a shaky economy, and the depletion of natural resources. On the surface, this may seem utterly discouraging, but ultimately, these challenges present us with a phenomenal opportunity. We have the chance to be the courageous problem solvers, drawing on our ambition to create solutions to these problems that will make us the leaders in our fields and communities. Over the past 4 years, I've had the opportunity to meet the faculty and students at SPPD, all of whom have exhibited the qualities of the ideal Trojan. However, you've also proved to me that there is an attribute missing from this list. The ideal Trojan, and especially the ideal SPPD student, is also passionate. Some of us, including myself, are passionate about the environment and finding ways to make our cities more sustainable. Others of us are passionate about community development, improving our healthcare system, or creating policies to address other pressing issues. The passion that I have seen exhibited in this school has truly humbled and inspired me. I implore you, class of 2009, to continue to develop and explore your passions once you leave USC. Computer scientist Alan Kay has said, "The best way to predict the future is to invent it." I cannot predict the future, but as I look out at all of you, my classmates, I'm comforted, hopeful, and excited about what is to come. We are the inventors of the future, and with all of our faithfulness, scholarliness, courage, ambition, skill, and passion, I know that the future will be bright. To our professors, deans, administrators, and to our parents, grandparents, siblings, and friends, thank you so much for your support and encouragement over the past 4 years. And to the SPPD class of 2009, cherish this day, celebrate all you have achieved, thank the people who got you where you are, and go out into the world and begin to invent the future. Until we meet again, because you will never get tired of hearing it, fight on.
Thank you very much, Timothea. Thank you. Yesterday we had an awards ceremony in which we honored those students who had achieved academic excellence. And so at this time, I'd like to ask the award recipients to please stand. Please stand, those of you who received awards yesterday, and let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. So now is the time to recognize the hard work each of you has completed over this course of study. So we're going to call each student individually and hand out the diploma covers. It makes it easier that way. Diplomas will be mailed in about 4 to 6 weeks. Professor Richard Sundin, will you please come to the podium at this time?
Dean Knott, I now present to you the candidates for the Bachelor of Science in Public Policy, Management, and Planning. Candidates, will you please stand?
Brian Wagey. Matthew Kevin Harkenrider. Stephen Kenneth Kapp. Jason Tetsuji Kane. Cheyenne Rostambadi. Madeline Nolan. Joshua Daniel Shake. Allison Marie Smith. Sydney Sarah Cordova. William David Milburn. Autumn Jimson. Megan Lorraine Holmes. Lauren Winger. Rompton Ghanaian. Chelsea Naomi Pollitt. Corin Elisa Milslegel. Sen Sugano. Camilla Adams. Regina Pritchett. Christopher Lawrence Whitenhill. Michelle Tafoya. Nadia Cervantes. Daniel James Kamen. Alexander Muir. Kieran Sandhu. Paola Suedo. Ana Iris Vivar. Mansoor Sagani. Stephen Charles Bobot. Amir Adam Talsazan. Sarah Elizabeth Tabor. Mark Vandellen. Luke Henderson Monroe. Stephen Howard Lacey. Robert Lyden D. Brian Lee. Diana Marie Ibarra. Naoto Ishikawa. Taryn Michelle Tarnitzer. Lacey Valentine Buckingham. Victoria Velasquez. Whitney Lloyd. Corey Gordon Stahl. Dan Svetkovich. Salar Ryan Sefilard. Robert Hernandez. Michael Scott Stupler. Adam Jeffrey Goodman. Sten Garrett Parton. Anthony Russell Vasquez. Griffin Baker Gentry. Davide Jake Delfonte. Lucas Colson Morris. Constance Elizabeth Peterson. Matthew Lee Pavlovich. Kendall Julie Meeker. Legita Cavaliere. Mary Nargisian. Enmar Joville. Baltazar Flores Vega III. Helen Tran. Sonia De Mesa. Ryan Peter Gonzalez. Jeffrey Scott Uguy. Alexander Paul Vaz. Timothea Larissa Tway. Miguel Eduardo Del Mundo. Arabo Parsehian. Ara Mosesian. Braden Lockhart Badger. David Barrett Kendall. Sean Michael Gavigan. Aaron Daniel Locke. Coral Kaminsky. Eli Kekshori. Jared Peter Herkey. Let's have a huge round of applause for the graduating class of 2009.
Wow, congratulations, graduates. And many of you have got that handshake down already. I would now like to invite Lupe Valdez, the president of the SPPD Alumni Board, to the podium. Lupe?
Now, I truly realize I'm standing between you and lunch or growling stomachs for all of you, so I will make my comments short. On behalf of the Alumni Association, I want to welcome you, class of 2009, to the Alumni Association of SPPD. I realize these are very unique times, as you've heard in your earlier speeches and the speeches up at the podium. But again, I believe the degree that you've received here is going to prepare you for things that you have no idea what's in front of you and are unimaginable at this point. But you are going to be very prepared to face the future. And that's the one incredible thing you will have, and no one can ever take this away from you, no matter what. Being part of the Trojan family has been extremely important in my life, and I wish you all the tremendous best. Take a mental picture of the day. This day goes by so fast after the hard 4 years plus that you've worked for this degree. Thank your parents, thank your family, and again, just take a mental picture of the day. Enjoy, celebrate. Thank those people behind you that had a lot to do with this day, and may you have a wonderful future. Good luck, congratulations.
Okay, will everyone please stand? To the faculty and staff, proud parents, relatives and friends, I proudly present to you the School of Policy, Planning, and Development's class of 2009. In addition to throwing your hats in the air, you can now move your tassel to the other side. Congratulations again. Please remain standing in place while we lead out the procession. Thank you all very much.